DJ Smallwood here with Slingin Dirt Media. Got James Essex, Hall of Fame announcer. James, welcome to Hall of Fame. Tell us about what we're doing here.
Well, we're going to pay a visit to the Hall of Fame today for those that haven't seen the inside of it. There's been a lot of work done here the last couple of years, and looking forward to it. And you know, just show the fans out there. I mean, this sport of dirt late model racing has been around a long time. There's a lot of great drivers. A lot of great drivers have run here at Florence, and looking forward to another ceremony coming up on Saturday.
So those of you who don't know, the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame is here at Florence Speedway in Florence, Kentucky, just outside of Union here. So James, you want to take us in and show us around?
Let's go.
So James, once you come in National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame, you see some really cool old stuff that you don't see much anymore.
Right, and you know, you got over here, you got Ronnie Johnson's car. You got a motor that was built by Jack Cornett, who went to the Hall of Fame a few years ago. Jack Cornett out of Somerset, Kentucky, and a longtime engine builder. His dad, Red Cornett, started it, and Jack has picked up. And one of the most popular brands in the dirt late model racing is a Cornett. Over here, we got a car driven by Ronnie Johnson that he drove for a while there, and then of course he won 2 dirt track world championships in the '90s. Not with this car, but. That's a nice looking race car, and Ronnie is still racing.
Right.
He's like 67 years old down there in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then up here you have Bob Pierce. Bob Pierce won this race, the North-South 100 in 1999, and then his son, the only father-son to win it.
That was what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
They're the only father-son combo to win.
The only father-son, and tonight this weekend we could have 2 other. One of the Morans, his dad Don, he won it, Devin, and then we have Hudson O'Neill, his dad Don.
So
won
there
it.
could be another.
We could have another one.
Gotcha.
And we have underneath there we have John Mason. John Mason started his career in 1972, hence that's where he got the number 72 at. So
Yep.
John Mason is a winner of this race as well in the past.
So James, when did the Hall of Fame actually start?
2001 was our first induction ceremonies, and in fact that's the only rain out in the North-South 100 was that day. We got the inductions done. The wind picked up, started raining. We had to cancel the race, and that's the only time the race has ever been canceled in the 40-year history of it.
So we'll walk over and we'll kind of start at the beginning and go through some of the stuff that you'll see there.
We can look at this over here. First off, this is our plans for the future. You know, I've been to Knoxville many times and seen the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and how good a job they do there. And with our staff and everybody trying to raise funds, this is what we'd like to look at in the future here at Florence Speedway.
This is a nice piece. What's it going to take to get us there?
A bunch of money.
A bunch of money.
A bunch of money, and that's our goal. And you can see there's the old building over here to the right, and here's the new building. It'll have suites in it. It'll have restrooms and such. But that's our goal. Hopefully it'll, you know, in my lifetime and everybody else's lifetime around here that we'll be able to do this. But it just takes a lot of money and a lot of effort by a lot of people.
Do we have a projector? Is there any kind of time frame we're looking at, or is it just still up in the air?
Well, you know, the way the economy is and the way things with the shortages and going on worldwide, it's, you know, to get everything together and all of that. And this is just a rendering of it. And I think it'll be awesome if we can accomplish this goal. And that's our goal for the fans and the drivers that are in the Hall of Fame and in the future Hall of Fame.
To have something nice to come and pay tribute to and get to see this.
Right, we have a DJ Smallwood suite, as you can see. One of these.
Be Slingin Dirt Media.
Maybe that. Maybe our buddy Carl, he'll be announcing on top there. Maybe we can do that. But, you know, like I said, I've been to Knoxville many times, 15 times, and they do a great job there at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. And I think that's our goal is someday. You know, I don't think we'll never be as big. I don't think it's a Sprint Car Hall of Fame, but we can always dream.
Have something comparable to.
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's walk around and see what we got over here.
We have the DJ Smallwood 50/50 fund right here, as you can see.
I wish.
A lot of the die-cast cars. Did you ever have a die-cast when you drove?
I did not. I did not.
Those are cool. And when I was a kid, all we had was Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
So we had to race them in the dirt or however we did that.
Right.
And now you got kids nowadays, they've got the 164th and the 124th and all that. And there's just, I mean, they've been out a long time. So since the 90s, I would guess.
Yeah. So anybody that watches or sees the episodes on a regular, every Wednesday night, we have the table that we go to and take their shots.
Yeah.
We try to have local guys in the diecast cars of guys that we're actually speaking to. We've got a handful of cars that we put on the table, and it's nice to have the late model guys. You know, I'm not doing the NASCAR guys, so we don't have NASCAR on the table. We have the dirt late models, you know.
Yeah, you remember that when it's so popular, NASCAR, and then it just got to be a little bit pricey, and you know, you wanted to get all of them, but it's like, man, I wanted to collect all the, you know, the guys that ran Brownstown or the guys that ran Lucas or however, but you can see there how appropriate is it? It's the year of money in dirt late model racing.
Right.
So we've got some 5s and 1s in there, I see. But you know, that may pay a few of Jonathan Davenport's taxes.
A little bit.
Win in the middle. Back here, this Chevelle, driven. Larry Moore drove it. Larry Moore, Hall of Fame, one of the all-time greats. I feel still one of the most underrated drivers that we've ever seen in racing. He could drive sprint cars. He drove USAC late stock cars. And this car here that he drove, as you can see a picture of it here. You know, he drove it a lot at Tri-County Speedway, just north of Cincinnati. It's gone now, Westchester, Ohio. And he was very tough there at that racetrack. He and Ralph Latham, people like Chuck McWilliams, they won a lot of races there. But Larry Moore, one of the real good guys, and man, just an all-time great in my opinion.
We actually got to do an episode with Chuck McWilliams.
Chuck McWilliams, right?
Next to the car, and having that opportunity to one of the Hall of Fame drivers next to his car is not something we're going to always get an opportunity to do.
Well, my Mount Rushmore of Florence, or Northern Kentucky, however you want to, would include Chuck McWilliams, most like Billy Teagarden, Pat Patrick. I'm still on the fourth one. Fourth one's going to be tough. You've got John Mugovan, raced there for years. Troy Green and Steve Landrum won 6 titles.
I was a big fan of the Boogeyman when I was a kid.
John Holt. John Holt.
Yeah.
Just a great number of drivers that ran here. They're in the Hall of Fame. That, you know, I mean, Pat Patrick to me is probably the guy here. But I mean, it was so tough and competitive here on Saturday nights that, you know. But Pat Patrick, the Stricker Street car is infamous. Just one of the most famous cars, iconic cars that you'll see in dirt late. Of course, Rodney Combs ran here a lot. Larry Moore ran here a lot. Just a great number of drivers, and like I said, I mean, you got 6 titles between, you know, 6 for Troy Green, 6 for Landrum, and all that. But you've got these. I mean, if Josh Rice wins this weekend, he may go on to Mount Rushmore at like what 24 years old.
You think this place will go nuts if he does win?
No, I don't think so. No. So Josh will have to bring in new grandstands for the fall 50.
I think so. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Everybody listening, I'm going to give away a Slingin Dirt Media T-shirt if anybody here can answer this question. A lot of people always ask, and they always say, you know, they bring up Pat Patrick. Pat Patrick won the very first North-South 100. Is there anybody in here that can tell me who was the first 2-time winner of the North-South 100? Anybody else?
I think it was
Somebody over here said it?
Tim McCready.
No.
Pat Patrick.
There you go.
Pat Patrick won the first and second North-South. So not only did he win the first, but he won the first and second, which made him the first driver to ever win back-to-back North-South.
And the first North-South.
Get you a T-shirt.
Yeah, we need a T-shirt from the first North-South. It was a Friday, Saturday. Friday night was a 40-lapper. Saturday night was a 60-lapper, hence the 100 laps. Right. He won both of them. So, you know, there you have it. It paid $4,000 to win, which was pretty good money back in 1983. 10th place tomorrow night pays $4,000. So, you know, it's all good.
Yeah. And this is just incredible. The memorabilia, the parts of the old cars that are hanging around. I see trophies and things like that people can come in and see, you know. Red Farmer and Freddie Smith. I mean, these guys are, legends.
Freddie Smith, the bazooka-based his car. Joel Hedrick in Louisiana, and had a lot of great, you know, Ronnie Stuckey, a lot of great guys like that worked on that crew. They had, you know, and basically, you know, they had the LA Gear car, they had the bazooka. They were really one of the first teams to bring corporate sponsorship into dirt late model racing.
Right.
And that's been a long time ago. But Freddie Smith, one of the all-time legends. 784 career wins. I did his last ever win. It was a Lucas Oil race in North Alabama. I think 2008. That was his last win of his career. But Hall of Famer, great guy. And he was instrumental in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series back when we first got it going. You had Freddie, you had Donnie Moran, you had Don O'Neill, you had Matt Miller, you had Earl Pearson Jr. Very, very stout competition.
Absolutely. It's, you know, every year. How many drivers go in the Hall of Fame on average every year? Is it the same?
Well, it's about 5 or 6. We have a voting committee.
Okay.
And to get nominated, just go to nationaldirtlatemodelhallofame.com or Google it, and you can get on there, and you can fill out a form. If there's somebody, I mean, there's somebody out in maybe California or Arizona that maybe we don't all know about, but of course there's no national publications anymore, so you really don't know. You got the internet, which is great, but remember we used to have to wait for Mid-Americans on Friday, and now you know, like a minute after the feature's done, it's on social media, the results, you know. But they can go on there and nominate. We do by regions. like 5, 6 regions we do. I mean, we have a contributors, promoters, announcers, people involved. Well, announcers, yeah. I didn't vote for myself, so
okay.
no, so I'm good on that. But no, it's just an honor and to be on. I'm the vice president of the National Dirt Late Model of Fame, and just to see where it's come out to, and see how professional everything looks, and great, and you've done a great job with this.
You guys have actually redone the inside of the Hall of Fame. It used to be a little different in here.
Right. I love the way they've done it with the trophies and then all the wall over there and all the way around, how they've done it with each class of drivers.
Each year has a different class of drivers that come in.
Right.
We get some of their history and some of their stats, I see.
Right. Yeah, we've got all their stats, their career stats, and which is pretty cool. Got pictures of their cars, and it's just really neat thing. It's just a shame, you go back all these years. I mean, there's some that have passed away. Sure. That when they were inducted, they had passed away, and that's always sad. But their families. And we try to make it a special event for them.
Right.
As well.
And I've seen several occasions where maybe a driver's passed on, but their family is here to represent and get to acknowledge that family member, that racer that was top of his game in his era.
Right. You know how emotional I get. I mean, because I love this. You and I, we've been around a long time in this sport, and Josh King and all the people that you're a little bit younger than me, but I mean, I remember all these days, and it's just an honor and a pleasure to be able to induct certain people. And the whole class is always important. For a driver that he's won 100 features versus 1,000, they're still important.
Right. You say that, you talk about the honors, like, man, I can't believe now that, I grew up as a race fan as a kid, that now I am friends and associate, and I get to do some of this, and have a Hall of Fame announcer as a friend of mine that I can call into and say, hey, James, let's do this. Let's put something together. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame and just another avenue of thinking outside the box, another way that we can get some information out there to everybody.
Well, I'm just a part of it. I'm just a small part of this. And as far as the announcers are concerned, there's plenty of them out there that are just as deserving as I am to be in this National Dirt Late Model of Fame. Of course, we had our own Brad Greer here at Florence who did it for many years. You've had Brett Emmerich, you've had Jimmy Mostiller, people like that. But there's a lot of them out there on the regional, local scene that deserve the accolades as well.
Right.
That hopefully will be in here one day.
Sure, absolutely. Well, it's amazing. So, folks at home, if you've never been here, never got the opportunity to come to Florence, Kentucky, Florence Speedway, make the trip. Get to check out the Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame. From what I understand, it's free to get in, right?
Right.
It's free. They will not turn down a donation if you wanted to do so, but it's free to come out and check out some of the history of where the sport came from and how we got to where we are. It's just really something neat to see. I'm kind of a history nerd myself, and just love seeing some of the older stuff as the cars, how much they changed throughout the years, and getting to know some of the drivers as I remember as a kid and watching them grow up, and now see some of their stuff that's in the Hall of Fame, and it's amazing.
And there's a lot of them that are still around. I mean, still like Chuck. I mean, Chuck's 86 years old, I think.
Yeah.
And you got Ray Gotze here. He's like 83, 84 years old. And the folks that come back here, the drivers that come back here, to my mind, they're legends. Like the ones I grew up with at Brownstown. You grew here at Florence. Yeah. I still think the top 3 tracks on a Saturday night were Hagerstown, Maryland, here, and Brownstown.
Yes. I agree.
They have the best drivers on a weekly basis, and you can Twitter me or whatever and say something different. But to me, those are the 3 tracks in this country that have the best Saturday night shows in the country.
I agree. I mean, I enjoy going to see some of the bigger shows and some of those other tracks. But man, that felt like your weekly racing.
Right.
This place was really significant through the 80s and 90s, and even in the 2000s, there was a lot of good local racing going on.
And sadly, DJ, it'll never happen again. I mean, we're in a different time.
Yeah.
A lot of people growing up, they're not gearheads like all of us were. I went 3 nights a week, basically. If it was a 5th or 6th night, I went to it. I think the most races I ever went to was in 1985. I did 109.
Yeah.
Probably announced most of them, So, I mean, those are Dennis Earp Jr. numbers,
Sure.
But it's like, man, the Saturday night, I always look forward to it. And in reading the results the next week, and it's just kept track of all that.
I felt like when I was younger, it was more of ingenuity got you speed and got you wins, where nowadays it may be more of dollar signs get you speed and get you wins.
It's always
you
been.
gotta have a driver too.
It's always been expensive. It's always been expensive, and I don't care if you're a late model, modified, street stock, Hornet, Bomber, to me, it's always been expensive. And,
Sure.
You know, and if you can afford to do a super late model, you go do it. If you want to do a street stock, go do it.
Right.
You know, but we all outspend more than we bring in. But you know, in dirt late model racing this year, it's just been unbelievable the amount of money that has been up for grabs. There's been one, and then a lot more to go. And then 75,000 in here tomorrow night. Never dreamed that. I'm sure when this started in 1983 with 4,000 to win, it's like.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a $75,000 purse, but a $75,000 to win.
I would have never thought that was going to happen, but here we are.
Yeah. I don't know how much that car costs, but you could probably buy 2 or 3 of them back.
Oh yeah.
You know, for.
I'll have to go back and check the tape. Chuck told us how much they spent, and it's nowhere near that. So. Well, James, man, I can't say thank you enough for bringing us in and talking about the Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame and the fans. We're definitely going to stick around for a minute. I'm going to get some pictures. We're going to fill in, and when we edit this, and make sure we add some of the stuff that people don't get to see while we're just sitting here talking. But if you get a chance, folks, you definitely need to come out to the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame here at Florence Speedway. Check it out, and hope you guys enjoyed as well.
That'll work.
All right. Thanks, James.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Carl.
So don't forget, every Wednesday night you can go to Slingin Dirt Media, YouTube and Facebook, and you'll get a little bit of what's going on in the area. We're going to have videos, pictures, all kinds of great stuff. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe, please, and we'll see you next week at the track. Thanks.